What? So how long have you been raising bees?
Probably only maybe 4 years.
How'd you get started in that? How do you start raising bees?
Start with one. Well, actually, start with two.
Really?
No. They're not like rabbits, but they do produce quite quickly. You know, my dad raised bees. We always saw boxes out in the corner of the house. You know, we grew up in LA here, and you know the weather's so great, so there's lots of bee activity. That's the bummer about being in Vail now. Not a lot of bee action going on. It's too high. It's too cold.
Right.
And certain vegetables grow there, but not a lot. But in California, the ranch, I love it. I had a friend who, in his backyard, he probably had 6 hives, and he had this one really intense kind of rogue hive where maybe the queen had some kind of strain of Africanized or something, and his wife could not go out in the backyard without being attacked.
Whoa.
So he says, "Hey, can I go put my bees on your property so they can cycle this queen out?" They got some breeding and it was just off.
Jesus Christ.
So he brought it out to the ranch. He pinched the bee and then pinched the queen.
Pinched it? What do you mean?
Killed it. And then
Jesus Christ. That's a nice euphemism.
He didn't have to shoot it or nothing, Hold still.
So he just grabbed the queen and killed her.
Well, I just pinched it because she was reproducing. I mean, they lay like 1 million eggs in their lives. It's insane. I basically I could sit here and talk a whole hour about bees because they're so interesting.
Let's do it.
All right. Well, listener.
I'm not scared. No, they'll listen. Trust me, it's
Right.
interesting stuff.
So yeah, put a new queen in there, and they cycled through all of the other bees. I mean, they only live a month.
So what is a normal reaction when people go in the yard would be they would be just disinterest. They wouldn't care about you as long as you're not interrupting the hive.
Exactly.
But your wife would go out there and they would just get crazy.
Yeah,
But not with you.
Oh yeah.
They did it with you,
This
too.
wasn't me. This was my friend's wife.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, but he's kind of used to it, and she was not. She was out to go
So
swimming.
he
or
would go
something.
out there and they would get crazy with him, but he's like, this doesn't bother me. But she was like, fuck this queen, fuck this hive.
Yeah, pretty much. And there's certain things. If you're wearing black, they all attack you. You know,
Really?
almost they think you're a bear.
What?
Yeah. If you've just eaten bananas, there's some I don't know, a smell or something in it that is similar to their attack pheromone that they set off. So there's a few things I've learned over the years.
Don't
being
eat
in the-
bananas and don't wear black.
Exactly. That's all you got to do. But I learned this stuff being in the bee club.
You're in a bee club?
I was in the bee club. Yeah, in the Bay Area. Yeah, we'd meet down at the American Legion's Hall and have a monthly meeting.
Wow. What are those dorks like?
Me
People
and
are
my buddy.
super into bees.
Oh my God, we would just sit there and kind of laugh about them. But we're sitting there. I mean, we're here to learn some
Yeah.
stuff. But there were people up there that, okay, we inseminated the queen with this, and they were counting bees. We put little numbers on every bee, and we caught their flight pattern and how many were reproducing this. And I mean, it's all. It's all they're doing research on how to make the bee stronger because the bees are going away.
Right.
But it's this mite, this little varroa mite that's killing a lot of them too, along with the pesticides and herbicides. But people that are so into it, and we're just kind of sitting there going, "Oh man, what have we gotten ourselves into?" But it's kind of it's funny in a certain way, but I'm glad that it's happening. But, I get, at the end of the season, you got like 500 pounds of honey.
Whoa.
And you're handing them out to your friends, and everyone's loving it.
500 pounds of honey. That's
Yep.
insane.
Yeah, yeah. And we're bottling it up. My kids are filtering it. We're, bottling it up. And it's just straight from the hive into a bottle. I mean, after you've filtered it. And it really helps with allergies. It helps with getting the pollens and the nectars from the area. So when you take that in, it helps build your immune system.
Yeah, I've heard that. So you've experienced that personally?
Absolutely. And I think being
Wow.
stung by bees helps you too. It helps with with something getting your immune system built up to the.
It's supposed to be really good for arthritis. They take people, like literally take bees, people that have like serious arthritis in their hands, and they sting their hands with it on purpose.
Right.
Yeah.
I think there's some people that do it for their lips here in L.A.
I think you need people that are so deep into the bee world, because you're not going to do it and I'm not going to do it. But if someone's just so far gone, they're measuring all their bees and monitoring their flight patterns and checking their DNA. I'm just fascinated that there was a clear differentiation between a normal bee and the way these bees were behaving. That you could tell that the queen was kind of a freak.
But I tell you, those freak bees, the Africanized or whatever, now there's a zombie bee, and we can get into that too. But they are aggressive, and an aggressive, just like any society, they do well. They produce a lot of honey, and they're very, very prolific in what they do.
Yeah, I've had killer bee honey. They make killer bee, like we sell it on it. I don't know even know if it's any better. If it's killer bee honey's better than regular honey, but it's just pretty dope to have killer bee honey around your house. There's just something about it.
That and the what's this stuff called? I mean, there's lots of really cool healing properties in like even the kind of glue that they use to plug up holes, and the royal jelly, which is comes from their the brain, and that's how they produce a queen. I mean, that's
what royal jelly is.
Yeah.
It's from their brain.
It's brain juice, man.
Holy shit! How does it come out? Does it come out of a hole somewhere? Or do they have to scoop it out of their fucking heads?
I haven't seen it that close, but they inject it into the queen cell, or there's a cell that they make when a new queen is being made. So all the bees that are flying around that you see out here, they're all females. It's all female society. So the drones that are in there, which are the males, they're there just to reproduce, and then they get kicked out in the wintertime.
And they
all die. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, man.
It's hard out there.
Brutal for us men in the bee world.
So if they all die, how do they continue to reproduce?
Well, there's some, I guess, that
couples stay around.
The queen makes more.
Wow. So those guys are just dead. The queen makes more, and the new ones take over. The new boys.
Yeah. And
they're just doing work.
They're just fertilizing. That's what they're doing.
They're just there to fuck, and then everybody else is doing all the real work.
You fuck and go die. That's what you get to do.
What a brutal world. What a fucking crazy world.
Yeah.